Hey there, it's Karen with InspiredByGraham.com. Welcome to my channel. So I made this really cute card for you guys. It uses the fine Art Floral Designer Series paper here, just a 3x4 piece. And also on the inside, we've got a really fun surprise as well. So I used the sentiment from the Queen Anne's lace, and I'll show you that in just a bit. And we also use the crinkled seam binding here that comes in white, and the gold glitter enamel dots. So really fun card. And on the inside we use a pop of that fine art floral designer series paper, and it's just the reverse side. And we've got a small bloom punch here in Petal Pink and a really fun Stitch So Sweetly die. So I'm going to show you how we made this card. So we are going to be using Queen Anne's lace, and again I'm going to be using the Best Wishes stamp right there. And we'll need our Stampin' Up! Trimmer here. Love the trimmer because it's got the scoring blade and the cutting blade all in one. So I've already pre-cut my card base, and it's 4 1/4 by 11, and we're going to score it. So I'm going to put it in my Stampin' Up! Trimmer here, and I'm going to score it at 2 3/4. Again, I've got the long way of the cardstock at the top, so just go up and down a few times, and then I'm going to slide it all the way over to 5 1/2. Okay, so that is all we need for our trimmer, and we'll just put this away off to the side. And now what we need to do is burnish this card. So I like to start in the middle here, and I'll just use my bone folder to give it a nice burnish. And again, this is going to be a top fold, kind of a, I don't know, not a top fold card, but we got to make it go this way. You've seen me do this kind of similar card, but going horizontally. This way we're going to do more of a portrait side. Okay, so we've got this all prepped. We'll put that aside. And we're going to do some stamping. So I've got my old olive ink, and I've got my piercing mat here. I love the piercing mat because when I'm using photopolymer stamps, it just needs to give a little bit of give to it. All right, so we'll open up the old olive ink, and I'm just going to ink up the sentiment, Best Wishes, right on the scrap basic white. Okay, that's all you need. It's pretty much simple stamping card if you ask me. And we are all set. Put this away, that away. And we're gonna do some punching. I've got the double oval punch. Love the scallop oval and just the plain oval as well. So I've got a scrap of the old olive, and as you can see, it's kind of a weird size, but I love to use my scraps, especially just to punch out some shapes there. And then we're gonna take that same punch and we'll slide it right in here. And it looks like I need to trim a little bit off because I stamped it up a little bit too high, so that's no worries there. All you really need to do is just trim off a little bit of that paper, so it will, the punch will slide in and you can punch out that oval. So I'm just going to center that Best Wishes in the middle of the oval, and we'll just punch it out. Of course, that's scrap. I'm going to throw that out. And then that will match up with the oval here. So we'll just take our adhesive, since I've got this one all ready to go. I'm going to use liquid glue today. We have various different types of adhesive. We've got the Stampin' Seal, and we got the Stampin' Seal Plus. So I like to vary, actually I'd like to kind of mix up my adhesive so you can see different types of adhesive that we have available. All right, so we've got those matched up. The next thing we're going to do is I've got that fine Art Floral Designer Series paper here, and we'll just take a look at it quickly. It is in the 2021 mini catalog, which is on page 33 of that catalog. And if you do not have a catalog, let me know, send me a message, and I'll be happy to put one in the mail to any of the US customers out there. And especially if you're not working with a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator already, I would love to earn your business. So again, you can find this in the mini catalog on page 33. All right, so we've got a piece of that paper and it's cut 3 by 4. Again, I love to maximize my paper usage, especially the designer series paper. And I love using a 3 by 4 size. So I'm just gonna add this to a piece of Petal Pink, which is a cut a little bit larger at 3 1/4 across by 4 1/4 down. Okay, so then the next thing we're gonna do is let's bring in our cardstock here, which is the old olive. We've already prepped it. We're gonna add the opposite side of that fine art floral onto the inside of our card base here. So a really simple process to make this card. And so I'm just gonna add that adhesive on the back side and we'll just add this right on the card base. Again, that was 4 by 5 1/4. And then the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna add this piece to the front here. So you wanna be careful where you put your adhesive because when you open this up, some of this will be showing here. So you definitely don't wanna put your adhesive down there or else you're gonna really have a hot mess there. So my advice to you is just kind of eyeball it. My pattern is going the correct way. Also, this is a directional paper. So I know it's about halfway. So I'm just gonna add my adhesive just about like this, make a rectangle. And then we're just gonna adhere this right down to the center of that old olive. And we'll just give it a good press there. So now it's gonna open up like this. The next thing we'll want to do is, I've already die cut this ahead of time. This is one of the Stitch So Sweetly dies. You know I've used these a lot. It's a really, it's a kind of a staple in my craft room. So I want to be able to put this right on here and I want to make sure it's covered up. Okay, so we're just going to add adhesive to the rough side, okay? One side is smooth and the other side is rough. So your glue goes on the rough side. Okay, and now I'm just going to add this right down here. And before I kind of just get it all the way stuck down, I want to bring this down just to make sure that it's all covered up. I don't want this Stitch So Sweetly die popping through and seeing it on the card front. Okay, so I'm just going to move this so it is straight. And then we've got a good press there. Then the next thing I want to do is add that crinkled seam binding. So I use this, actually I was teaching an in-person class last Wednesday and one of my attendees, she had received this crinkled seam binding in one of my monthly card club offerings and she didn't really like it crinkled. So what she did was she took her hair straightener and she took it through the hair straightener and she straightened out the ribbon and it actually worked. If you don't like this crinkled seam binding, just use your hair straightener and it'll go straight, I guess. So I don't have a hair straightener because my hair is so straight, it doesn't really matter. So if you want to try it, give it a try. All right, so that is looking pretty good. If you wanted to put a glue dot to secure that a little bit more, you can do that, or you can just leave it nice and flowing like that. The next step we want to do is we want to add our sentiment here, best wishes, and to give it a little bit of dimension, you're definitely going to want to add some Stampin' Dimensionals to it. So I'm going to grab those here, and we're just going to add 2. So you've got those here, and I'm going to give them a press, so you can press them with your thumbnail and peel them off, or you can take your pick tool and just kind of stab it there and they pull right off just like that. So super easy. And then we're just going to add this sentiment here, and I'm kind of looking for a place where it's got more of this just kind of plain. I don't really want to cover up that flower because it's really pretty, but I think I'm going to have to cover up a little bit of it. All right, so we're looking pretty good. Now we're gonna take our small bloom punch here, and then of course I forgot my Petal Pink, so I've got some right over here. And just a scrap of Petal Pink will do. We're just gonna punch out one of those little blooms. And then we're gonna add it right on here. So you can either, here, I added a small, no I didn't. So I added a glue dot, but I'm for this card we're making today, I'm going to add a small dimensional, a mini dimensional, to the back side of the bloom here, just to give you an idea of what it would look like popped up. So I'm just gonna take one of those little Stampin' Dimensionals. These are the mini ones. They work perfectly with the small bloom punch. And I'm just gonna add this little bloom right there. And then we've got to add some embellishments, of course. So I am using the gold glitter enamel dots today. I'm gonna take one of the largest ones here, and I'm gonna add it to the center of that bloom. Okay, and then we're gonna close this up, and then we're gonna add a few more to the card front there. So I've got a really large area at the top right here that I'm gonna add one of these larger ones here. And then let's take one of the medium ones, and we'll just put it right here. And then one of the, I guess, there's 4 different sizes, so I'm gonna use 3 different sizes, and I'll add one right down there as well. All right, so that is today's kind of a simple stamping card, but with a nice little fun fold. So let's just take a look at both of them here side by side. And they're gonna look a little bit different just because of that designer series paper and the way it was cut. So let's open it up so you can see if there's a little bit, if it looks a little bit differently. So this one was added with 1 glue dot underneath, and then we used a mini Stampin' Dimensional for this one too, just to give it a little bit more dimension. All right, so that is your card for today. I hope you enjoyed it, using the Fine Art Floral Designer Series paper, along with a sentiment from the Queen Anne's lace. And that's those 2 special punches, which are the small bloom punch, and also the, let's see, what is it called? The double oval, which is a new stamp or a new punch in my craft room. So for all your Stampin' Up! Needs, and if you're looking for a demonstrator, I would love to earn your business, you can find me at inspiredbygram.com. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.